Welcome to Type C Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be comparing the Gigabyte G32QC versus the Asus Tuf Gaming VG32VQ. I'm going to go through the video and compare the specs and the pros and the cons of each and my own real life experience with both of them. And if at any point during the video you want to check out either of these two monitors, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, and Canada, but let's get right into it. Let's start by going over some of the stats that are the same. These are both 32-inch monitors, which is pretty sizable. They both have a 1500 R curve, which is a pretty decent curve, very immersive in game, and they also are both VA panels. They both have 165 Hz and 1 millisecond response times. Now here's where things start getting a little bit different. You might think at this point, oh, they're pretty much the same panel, but that is far from the truth. They're very similar, but they're not the same. And hopefully by the end of the video, you'll know exactly which one to get. Now the Gigabyte hits 124% of the sRGB color space, while the Asus hits 120%. So that's not really that big of a difference with color accuracy. The Gigabyte pulls ahead just a little bit, although we'll see later on in the video why the Asus has better colors. Now because these are both VA panels, contrast ratio is quite good at 3000:1. They're also both 1440p 16:9 monitors, but here's where the biggest difference comes that absolutely will decide which one of these you get. Now the Asus has a 250 nit screen. This is not super bright, although at 32 inches, it never seemed like I needed more brightness. I definitely had a ton of fun gaming on this thing, and it never seemed like it was a drag to play on. It actually was really fun to play on, and 250 nits sounds like it's pretty low, but for a 32-inch panel, it's not that bad. However, as you can see behind me, as you can probably see, the Gigabyte does pull ahead with brightness at over 100 nits, or just at 100 nits, above the Asus at 350 nits. So you're getting 250 on the Asus versus 350 on the Gigabyte. This is insanely noticeable. There is a massive difference, especially when you put them side by side with brightness. Now, brightness for me is a massive thing, but I'll tell you, gaming on the Gigabyte was nicer just because of the brightness. It was just nicer overall. It was a nicer picture, nicer to watch stuff just because it's brighter. However, this is not the only factor that should go into you picking which one of these to buy, because there is other things that the Asus does better. Now the Gigabyte has no built-in speakers at all, while the Asus has dual 2-watt speakers. Now these aren't crazy speakers at all. They get loud enough for daily tasks. They're not amazing, but they are there, and the Gigabyte doesn't have them. All right, now let's talk ports. The Gigabyte excels here over the Asus. It has two HDMI 2.0s, a DisplayPort 1.2, a 3.5mm audio out, and two USB-As, while the Asus has all of those ports exactly the same. HDMI 2.0, it has two of them. One DisplayPort 1.2, a 3.5mm audio out, but then it has no USB-As. So as far as connectivity, the Gigabyte wins. But now let's talk build quality and stands. The Gigabyte has a height adjustable and a tilt adjustable stand. The quality is not as nice as the Asus. The Asus's quality of the stand is actually much better. However, the Asus only has swivel and tilt, so it does not have that height adjustable. Now, I'll say the Asus definitely has way better build quality with the stand, but I prefer height adjustability over just swiveling. In fact, I don't even care about swiveling. So if you're like me, the Gigabyte wins this round. However, that's up to interpretation because they both have two levels of adjustability with the stands. All right, now let's talk color and HDR. Now this is an 8-bit panel, so really for a HDR content, you need a 10-bit panel. You also need a lot of brightness. So this has the VESA display HDR 400. However, to have HDR 400, you need 400 nits. That's like what the 400 stands for. And really for good HDR, you need 500, 600 and plus nits. So neither of these panels really have legit HDR. It's just marketing. Now the Asus has an 8-bit panel, but it's an 8-bit panel with frame rate control. Now, if you guys don't understand what frame rate control is, it's basically where instead of having an 8-bit panel where it's not gonna display all the different shades of the color, an 8-bit with frame rate control is actually gonna flicker between two colors. This essentially makes it be able to show 1.07 billion colors just like a 10-bit panel. So definitely having an 8-bit panel with FRC is way better than an 8-bit panel, and I would take it any day. Now the Asus also claims to be HDR10, but there's absolutely no way it's HDR10 because it's only 250 nits. This marketing of HDR needs to stop. However, which one should you buy? If you want the more 10-bit panel that can actually display more shades, definitely get the Asus. However, if you want a brighter display, definitely get the Gigabyte. Those are really the biggest differences that you should decide on which one you want to get. They are both absolutely fantastic, especially for the price. They're almost about about equal at like 350 to 400 bucks, and they're absolutely great monitors. I love them. Again, if you do want to go check out either of these 32-inch VA panels, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, and Canada. I do got you guys. But if you enjoyed this video and it helped you out, help me out and throw a like below. And if you enjoy monitor reviews, I do a ton of those, so please consider subscribing below. But this was Type C Tech Reviews, and I'll see you guys later.